Cheers.
Today we're going to focus on cross-country and trail single-track mountain bike tires. Alright, so the first thing that I'm probably going to look for, Jay, is the width of the tire. So with tire width, we're probably going to be talking about a 1.9 to a 2.4 inch tire for our cross-country or trail single-track tires.
What is a larger width tire going to do for you versus a narrower width tire?
Great question. So as we go wider, we're going to add volume. It's a lot like those big fat tire bikes we've been talking about, but on a smaller scale. Anytime we increase that volume, we're going to take and offer a softer ride for a given pressure. If we were to keep the same pressure in a narrower tire, it's going to ride firmer. And that wider tire is going to absorb things a little bit better as well. They're even finding that some of our wider tires, not going to the extreme wide, but a little bit wider than we normally thought was a fast rolling tire, is actually becoming faster than a skinny tire.
I think I've heard that in the road world recently, the past couple of years.
Road and mountain, you know, the companies are doing a lot of research into it, and it seems counterintuitive to run wider and faster, but they are finding that to be the case. You know, what we want to focus on is we want to focus on a good traction in the back and in the front, but we can also take and we can switch things up to achieve better performance for the front and the rear. So this particular tire is actually a little bit narrower than the front. And I like to run a little bit narrower tire because it saves a little bit of weight on the back. Our rear wheel has a lot of weight to it with wider spacing and our cassette and things like that. So it saves a little bit of weight and rolls a little bit faster.
Are all tires directional?
You know, each brand of tire and each model will be specific or can be specific. And a lot of times you'll find that written on the sidewall of the tire. And again, it's personal preference. So you don't have to actually go with a recommendation on tread pattern direction. You know, some other things to consider are when we look at any tire is going to be the sidewall. The sidewalls of certain tires will be designed to be more puncture resistant and also maybe stiffer. So when we talk about puncture resistance, you know, whether you live in an area with lots of rocks or thorns, sidewall punctures or punctures within the tread are definitely prevalent. And so we want to try and minimize that as much as possible. So a lot of tires that we've been talking about have the option to get a thicker reinforced sidewall and running surface to prevent those punctures. Now you mentioned tubeless. What can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, it provides better. You can run lower pressures, which is going to achieve better grip and possibly a faster tire overall, but just a better gripping tire. Prevent pinch flats. So you know, I think we've all pinched a tube now and again.
Yeah. Commonly known as a snake bite, happens to a lot of us, but running tubeless will potentially reduce the risk of as many flats when running at lower pressure. So that's very interesting. Now, do you have to have a specific rim or wheel to run tubeless?
Yes, you do.
All right, and what is the reason for that?
Well, it has to do with the bead lock. A lot of the tires nowadays are going to come either way. There's different things out there, but it all comes down to the bead here and how it seals to the rim.
Those tires are typically going to have a thicker sidewall because we're reducing that tube out of there, and we want to keep that tire from rolling from side to side on the bead, especially when we're running lower pressure. So keep that all in mind when you're going up to the tire wall to look for your next tire. Well, I think at least for now that covers the general mountain bike tire.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining us at the Barside Chat.